I've been using the Apple Watch Series 10 for 3 months now, and here is what happened. Today I wanted to tell you how my experience has been with it, what I liked, what I didn't like, and everything in between, but most importantly at the end, I'll tell you what has surprised me the most. Now let's get started with what I've noticed the most. I've been so happy with how large the display of the Apple Watch Series 10 has gotten. It's 30% larger than an Apple Watch Series 6, and it's even slightly larger than the Apple Watch Ultra. And for me, someone that has used every generation of Apple Watch since its launch, I've loved how messages look, how emails look, how notifications look, and how comfortable it is to use the keyboard. watchOS itself is so optimized for the watch. When somebody calls you, the buttons are large. In my opinion, it just truly makes the difference. Now, Apple also updated its OLED display. It now refreshes every second, even with the always on display. So now when you look at the always on display, the actual watch will tick every second. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, this is a great feature to have, but I haven't really used it or noticed it because you obviously don't look at the always on display frequently. Something that is quite noticeable is the wide angle display because the glass actually curves with the display itself. So the viewing angles that the Apple Watch has is so much more superior now. I've really found this very useful when typing, for example, that I can clearly see the time no matter what angle I have. While you're eating, while you're drinking a coffee, you don't have to raise your wrist every time you want to look at the time now. Sleep apnea notifications were also one of the biggest protagonists of this new watch, and luckily I haven't found this useful. I think it's incredible that Apple keeps adding these health sensors for the Apple Watch to become like this ultimate health companion, a watch that's constantly measuring all your health vitals. I'm just very happy that that sleep apnea notification hasn't popped up on me. But as Apple says, there are millions of people out there in the world that have sleep apnea but don't know about it. So luckily with the Apple Watch, it will notify them of that condition. The Apple Watch Series 10 also now has a depth gauge, meaning it can measure the depth when you're snorkeling. So me, someone that I'm always at the beach, especially at the summer, I love snorkeling and love exploring in the most beautiful places on earth. The Apple Watch Series 10 now allowing you to measure the depth, which was something that the Apple Watch Ultra could only do. For me, that feels very good because it adopts the best features of the Ultra, bringing them here in the smaller form factor version, which I personally prefer. I made a video comparing the Apple Watch Ultra versus the Series 10, which I totally recommend for you to watch. Now, Apple also changed a lot of their colors and casing. We obviously have to talk about that stunning jet black aluminum version, which is shiny and feels very stainless steelish, while still adopting that incredible affordable price tag. And if you want to upgrade it to the titanium models, Apple has changed a lot with it. And for me, after using it for 3 months, I am mind blown because I love the stainless steel Apple Watch that Apple has always released, but there was always a big problem with it. It just always scratched very easily because that's what stainless steel does, right? I loved how shiny it was. I loved how premium it was. I loved how delicate it was. But after getting it once, I kind of didn't really like the experience because when you unboxed it, when it was brand new, it looked incredible. But then after using it for months, you can see all the scratches, the bumps. You just had a very good looking watch, but it felt used. And the best thing that Apple has done with this Apple Watch Series 10's titanium is that it's made out of titanium. You've still got that stainless steel look. It's shiny, it's silver. When the sun hits on it, it's gorgeous. I paired it up with this link band, which is, I mean, this is my favorite look ever on the watch. I'm obsessed. And it simply does not scratch. And that's what makes me love about titanium so much. This is the Bluetti AC70, and it can charge way more than just an Apple Watch. It's an energy storage solution. Basically, it's the ultimate, the biggest, the best power bank you're ever gonna see in your life. It's got 1,000 watts of power, but you can even boost it up to 2,000 watts of power. You can plug in whatever you want. For example, I've got them right now plugged into the studio lights, but from microwaves to fridges, if you wanna go camping with it, you've got this little handle right here, making it just extremely portable. If you wanna do like I did and hook up a projector outdoors, it's the ultimate date if you want it. And it's super silent, so it won't ruin your day. You've got 2 AC wall plugs, 2 USB-C ports, and 2 USB-A ports. The best thing about it is that it can charge from 0 to 80 in just 45 minutes. It's also compatible with their solar panels, so the sun can literally charge all of this power. Just imagine you've got a power outage in your home. If you want to pick up not 1, but 2, you can connect them together and have double the battery. You've got a display in the front that will tell you a bunch of information on your charge, including how much battery is left with what you're currently charging. So right now I've got this light over here. It will tell me that I've got 1 hour and 15 minutes left of these beasts light pointing at me right now, which is great. It even comes with an app that lets you change the charging speeds. You've got powerlifting, so you can change the watts from 2000 to 1000 depending on what you want. You can also pick up Charger 1. Charger 1 allows you to charge your AC70 6 times faster than the cigarette lighter plug. It works with all Bluetti power stations and 95% of other devices. It's even got adjustable voltage depending on what power station you're charging. And it can do so much more. Don't ask me how many charges this can charge your Apple Watch. It's probably way too many that we can count. Thank you, Bluetti, for sending one to me. I've always wanted a battery pack like this. And obviously, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in picking one up, links are down below in the description. I feel like I've got so much power right now. This is amazing. I've just noticed an overall big difference on the Apple Watch Series 10. Since the Apple Watch Series 4, maybe even Apple Watch Series 5, I didn't really feel like upgrading an Apple Watch. You couldn't really feel the differences. Obviously with health sensors, obviously with fitness features, but overall the usability of the watch didn't really change, in my opinion. But the Apple Watch Series 10 truly feels different. It also got thinner. Now, if you really compare how thin it is to other watches, it's not a big deal, but it's everything combined. This package of the Apple Watch Series 10, of the display getting larger, the case getting thinner, in jackets, in sweaters, it just doesn't really get stuck anymore, which is something that previous generation with a lot of my jackets, it happens. Not with this guy. Once again, the design getting thinner isn't really that noticeable, but it's everything combined that, in my opinion, truly makes a difference. Apple also updated the voice isolation for phone calls, which has been great, I guess. People haven't been complaining about how the audio quality sounds. It's great that it's there. Apple also added the audio playback through the speakers, which was a nice change. Now, if you want to be honest, I haven't really used this, only a couple of times, but that's exactly what I said in my review. It's great that it's there. You're probably only going to use this feature once or twice or maybe 0 times a year, but the times that you use it, you're gonna like it. Just the ability to play a podcast or a song if someone sends it to you without needing to find a pair of AirPods. I used it 2 weeks ago because someone sent me a song. So instead of like looking for my phone, I can simply tap on it and listen to the song really quickly. This feature is kind of boring, but it's just overall nice that it's there. It obviously doesn't change the experience with your watch. But what has changed and what has truly changed my experience with the Apple Watch Series 10 this year is, for me, the biggest feature that the Apple Watch has had in years. Because one of the things that has upsetted me the most about the Apple Watch over the years is its battery life. Especially when there's competition out there, sports watches that literally last you days, if not weeks of battery life. And sure, we got the Apple Watch Ultra, but the standard Apple Watch has always kind of remained the same in terms of battery life. And for features like sleep tracking, as good as some apps or even native sleep tracking can be with Apple, or just overall always having battery life on your iPhone, wasn't really an easy task unless you simply charged it overnight. And the Apple Watch Series 10's battery life isn't better than the Series 9, but something that changed everything for me is its fast charging. It is absurd on how fast your Apple Watch charges now. Now, I simply hop in the shower, put it on the charger, and when I'm done drying my hair, putting some clothes on, my Apple Watch is already at 100%, allowing you to always have battery life for features like sleep tracking. If you're cooking dinner, for example, and you've got 40% on your Apple Watch, you can just simply throw it on the charger, and once you're pretty much done eating, it will be already at 100%. And this honestly made me rethink on, do we need a larger battery life on the Apple Watch? I feel like it's already great. It lasts you a day and a half, meaning that if you charge it really quickly, you can pretty much get 2 days full of battery life with sleep tracking. And this has allowed me to sleep track so much more on the Apple Watch. And when you sleep with your Apple Watch, the Apple Watch is reading so much of your vitals, your heart, your sleep apnea, and that makes me very happy. And then in terms of watchOS 11, what I've loved the most are live activities have become really useful. When I'm traveling, I've got my boarding pass already there. When there's a live soccer game that I love watching soccer, I'm always updated just by looking at my wrist. And the reflection watch face paired with a titanium Apple Watch has been just an obsession of mine as well. So what have I not liked about the Apple Watch Series 10? To be honest, there's a couple features that you kind of forget that they're there, like sleep apnea until something happens to you. Like the music output with the speakers, you can now play music. It's features that you don't really use on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I made this exact video with the iPhone 16 Pro, and there was a lot of things that I was kind of complaining about. But the Apple Watch Series 10 There's a lot of people complaining how it doesn't have enough features, and in my opinion, I totally disagree. I said this in my review, there's nothing really that I don't like about it, and it truly feels that the Apple Watch Series 10 is the first Apple Watch in years that you finally notice all of those new features, and they have become extremely useful on my day-to-day life. If you want to watch my 3-month later review on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, you can watch this right here, or you can watch my interview with Sumbul Desai, the Vice President of Health at Apple, and we talk about the future of the Apple Watch. You can hit subscribe right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.